everybody, it's me, Tokkuri Yashi. How's everybody doing? Hope you are well. It is Clan Battle time again. Clan Battle for June 2024. So today we will be having a look at all of the bosses that we are getting this month in Clan Battle. The teams that have been suggested to do the most damage to them. We'll be having a look at which new characters have made it into Clan Battle, new released characters that have been given upgrades to unique equipment recently. We will see if they have made it in, if some characters maybe have fallen out and not being used so much. Remember, your Princess Knight enhancement, masterpieces, EX equipment, all of this affects the amount of damage you can do in Clan Battle, so the numbers that we are going to see here, not set in stone, it does depend on all of these things on your account, so it's kind of a ballpark figure. We will be having a look at the tier 4 bosses today. So let's jump in with our first boss, the Wyvern. So we have our first boss this month, the Wyvern, and as we can see here, it is weak to fire and to wind. This is a boss we get in the Deep Quest, the Fire Deep Quest, and as we can see here, our top team today for the Wyvern is the same team that has been recommended for 210 on the Fire Deep Quest with 142 million manual. It's been the highest scores so far we can see, and 113 million automatic. If you are stuck on Fire 210 like me, then maybe you're going to have trouble with this Wyvern as well, but perhaps you could maybe build some of the teams below, the other 5 teams below, and they might be able to beat the Wyvern in Deep Quest. It looks like the core Christina and the 2 Hioris are what is most important on that team, so if you're missing a couple of those, probably a little bit stuck like me. If that is the case, we can then try a wind team, a little bit less damage, but pretty good anyway, and that top team there with 100 million damage, a wind magical team. 4 out of the 5 characters are, I would consider, brand new characters. Got the 2 spring characters, the Anemone and the Ceremonial Ilia with her unique equipment. Another character that is pretty new is the student Aoi, making an appearance there on the 2 physical wing teams. I did say when the time was right for her, she would probably come into Clan Battle when she was released with the unique equipment too. Bosses didn't suit her that well. Now they seem to suit her a little bit better. This means that maybe Ranger Shiori has now been booted off the Wind physical team in favour of this student Aoi. So there we go. That is the Wyvern boss. Let's move on to boss number 2. Okay, time for boss 2, the Wild Griffin. And as we can see here, the Wild Griffin is weak to fire and to dark. Maximum damage we can see here, 196 million manual, 163 million automatic, and it is dark magic. All of these teams here, dark magic at the top. So you're going to have the likes of the New Year's Ilia, the Warlock Jita with her unique equipment, as well as the rest of these teams. Homare, that's another character I am missing. I have noticed down here that the 6-star Nanaka has made an appearance here with her unique equipment too. She came out in the same batch with the student Aoi, so it's nice to see that she, with that unique equipment, has actually become a viable option to run on a dark magical team if you are missing some of the other characters. If, like me, you are struggling to build these dark magical teams, maybe we can go for a dark physical team. There's a couple of those at the bottom, mostly using the Altar Maiden Girls. It's funny to note here that there are absolutely no fire teams at all suggested for this boss, even though it is weak to fire. Shows how weak the fire team actually is. Maybe that will change over the next couple of months. Fire team definitely needs a few buffs, so going dark all the way for the Wild Griffin. Okay, let's move on to boss number 3. Boss number 3 then, Dorogeta, is weak to the water and the light element, as we can see here. We have got a 144 million maximum manual, and also 121 million automatic. Funny to note that that automatic team is a dark magical team, even though that is off element, that is not, this boss is not weak to dark. Automatic, it seems so far that is the highest scoring team that we have managed to come up with. A lot of the new characters are being featured here for this boss. We have got the Dream Park Maho in the light magical teams. We have also got the Summer Suzuna in the water physical team with that stonker of a unique equipment 2. It's no surprise that she is making it here into clan battle. I call that water physical team now, looking at a lot of new characters with the winter characters and this Suzuna with her unique equipment 2. Few light teams there available too if you want to manual them. If you're going to go more automatic, then there is this team I'm running here, which is a bit strange. I don't understand it, but it works. Why on earth they've got Labarista on a magical team, I don't know. Probably just for her action speed buff. When it works, it does some good damage. I did try with Kururu instead of her, and obviously the Labarista is better. This being a single target boss shows that even though Maho is AoE, he does work pretty well on a light single target magical team. Few other teams there at the bottom with some of the other newer characters in there. Saren is making an appearance in some of these teams as well. If you wanted to go down there at the bottom, if you can't build some of the teams at the top. So a bit of a variety here for Doro Gator. Let's move on then to boss number 4. Boss number 4, Titano Turtle, or Torterra if you're a Pokemon fan. So as we can see here, the Titano Turtle is weak to water and light, just like boss number 3, but this time the boss is AoE, which means we'll be using the AoE side of those two teams. At the top here we've got 170 million manual, 143 million for automatic. The problem though, those top light physical teams, I did try to run them, and the first time Titano Turtle went into his shell, came out and did his big damaging attack, the team got flattened, it died. So perhaps to run those teams you might need to have got a few extra masterpieces to get a bit of extra defense on your characters using the Princess Knight enhancements. Maybe that's why it failed. If that is the case for you as well, there are a few teams at the bottom here that you could also maybe use on the light side, the light magic side. Kururu making an appearance here on the light magical team, still doing a decent amount of damage alongside the Dream Park Maho. As we can see here, Angel Yori is not being used. I suspect Angel Yori would be used on these teams if Kururu had not been released. So at least in this instance, against a multi-target boss, Kururu definitely being the better option out of those two. So there we go, that is Titano Turtle. Move on to the final boss, Mr. Krabby. Okay, finally, boss number 5, Krakinos, the giant fiddler crab. And as we can see here, Krakinos is weak to wind and to dark. The top team here again is a dark magical team, 148 million manual we have a competition for automatic 120 million, that team below. I will say here that dark magical team is going to be in high demand this clan battle. It looks 3 of the bosses you could possibly be using it against. You have to bear that in mind when doing your attacks, which characters you're using, which characters you're going to need to borrow. Second option here is mainly a wind team with the Warlock Cheetah on it. A lot of the newer characters are featuring here again. Spring characters, Kyoka and Suzume. Ilya ceremonial earlier with her unique equipment. Seems like if you do not have the spring characters or Warlock Cheetah like me, you're going to maybe struggle a little bit. There is, however, one physical team down here at the bottom which I had to run. Relatively new characters in the Commander Eriko and Makoto, and I suppose the Alchemist Karen too with her unique equipment. So there we go, that is the Krakinos boss. A few new characters being used in there. Maybe you're going to be struggling for this, I don't know. Good luck to everybody who is taking part in clan battle this month. Hope you can do good with your attacks. Let me know how you did with them. Thank you for watching, everybody. I think I may have to do a little bit of practice, maybe see if I can do a little bit better when we do finally get to day 2 and we get to round 4. See if I can up my score a little bit. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I am Tokkuri Yashi. I will see you all again for another video. Bye 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 bye. Hey.